Hi everyone, and welcome to our Hangout, continuing the Blue Conversation. The Blue Ocean Film Festival and Conservation event brought together filmmakers and ocean leaders from all over the world to Monterey, California a few months ago. This Hangout is meant to bring some of those individuals together to talk about what happened at Blue, what they are currently working on, and what the future is for the ocean dialogue. Blue itself has been kept alive through the Blue on Tour, next planned for a 3-day event taking place in Hobart, Tasmania, with later stops including China, Mexico, and Australia. Keep close attention to our social media streams and Blue's website for a bit more on that. For now, let's introduce our guests. First off, just to wait for 1 second, I regret to inform those at home that Casey Ingle of Glass is Life is unable to join us due to strep throat, but we have a great panel here today, including Celine Cousteau, who joins us from Australia.
Good morning.
Morning. Mera McGrew, who's joining us from Mission Blue in New York.
Hi.
Okay. We have Pam Marcus from the Plastic Pollution Coalition.
Hello.
Thanks. And we have Barbara MacGillivray from the One World, One Ocean and the MacGillivray Freeman, Director of Partner Outreach, if you want to say hi.
Yes. Hi.
All right. So again, this Hangout is really to go over a bit about what our best experiences were at the Blue Ocean Film Festival and what events we liked, what conversations were great, who do we enjoy meeting, and what we've been really doing since. Celine, I'd love for you to start if you could tell us a little bit about what did you really enjoy at Blue?
Well, one of the challenges when going to a film festival is actually seeing films. I had gone to the festival without having a single meeting and was just busy with meetings the entire time I was there. So I guess I'll start with one thing I would love to do is have more time to see more films there. But I think that's one of the positive things is connecting with other filmmakers and scientists and people working in the ocean community. I think it's a fantastic opportunity.
All right. Mera, what about you from the Mission Blue perspective? How was Blue Ocean Film Festival?
Yeah, well, Mission Blue is excited to be in California and participating this year. Personally, it was an amazing experience and a great opportunity to be amongst leaders and, I guess, heroes and emerging of minds within all different areas from conservation, communications, and research.
Awesome.
So just coming there, participating in the dialogue, and really moving things forward.
Well, that's great. Pam, what about yourself?
Well, I'm speaking on behalf of Daniela Russo, the co-founder of Plastic Pollution Coalition. She wasn't able to make it to this today, but she went to Blue. I wasn't there, but I've heard from her and from several people that went to Blue what a great time they had. And what the Plastic Pollution did was they had 3 panels. They had 3 panels that discussed reducing plastic pollution. There were legislative policies, there were scientists and their science, and then there were artists and their art, all working towards reducing plastic pollution. So I think that they really enjoyed the panel discussions and meeting people in the industry, and it sounds like it was a great event for the Plastic Pollution Coalition.
Can you really quickly just tell us a little bit about the Plastic Pollution Coalition, what its mission is, that sort of thing?
Sure. So the Plastic Pollution Coalition is a global alliance. It's actually it's an organization, a nonprofit that's 3 years old. It's a global alliance of over 300 businesses, organizations, and individuals. And their goal is to stop plastic pollution and the toxic impact that it has on humans and animals and the environment. And the primary thing that they're working on is ending the global dependence on disposable plastic, which seems to be the primary source of plastic pollution, and also reduce the global footprint of plastic pollution of individuals and businesses and organizations.
Fantastic. Barbara, I'd love for you to tell me a little bit about your experiences at Blue.
You know, I think the best part of it was all the little spontaneous get-togethers. with different people. And I have to agree with what Celine said. The most difficult part was the fact that it was impossible to get to a lot of the planned activities. I think the only film I can remember seeing is Jean-Michel's, his homage to his father, and that was wonderful. And but we were in a special privileged position there because we had our digital media team up there, and we were able to do all these interviews with all the different ocean heroes, and there were so many there. I mean, Don Walsh, it was terrific. I've never met him directly, and Anatoly, whose name I can't remember, but all these people who have been out there for so long doing such terrific underwater investigation, and that was so exciting.
Yeah, Don was definitely a huge pleasure. He was a personality who is just someone that's fantastic to meet in person. That he was just one of many different people that was very refreshing to meet, including all of the Cousteaus, the large grouping of them, including Jean-Michel and Celine herself, who we have the pleasure of hanging out with here today. Celine, was there anybody that you were very happy to meet that you might not have met as a result of maybe not being at Blue? That was a little weird.
Well, I think I think like Barbara, Don and Don Walsh and Anatoly was a surprise. I think I really wasn't thinking ahead in terms of the new people I'd meet. I was thinking about the people I'd reconnect with. So it's always a nice surprise to cross paths with new faces. As vast as the ocean is, the ocean community is small. So it's always surprising to meet new individuals who are working in this realm. And I really think it's about the collaborative effort. So to be able to have an event that brings together not just filmmakers, but also scientists, conservationists, and in different fields of ocean issues really makes it that much more impactful for us to be able to create something together and unite forces for the same causes.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. We've been, everybody in this conversation, those who were unfortunately unable to make it, or other organizations who were able to go to Blue, have all been working on things since Blue. And I was wondering, Celine, if you could talk a little bit about what you've been working on.
Sure. Well, as you mentioned earlier, I'm actually in Australia. It's not just for my health, although it's a beautiful place to be. We're here as a work base, doing a little bit of research on possible stories for filmmaking future.
I think we lost Casey.
All right. I don't know why we had that technical difficulty, but we are back. I am so sorry about that.
No worries.
Celine, did you have a chance to, I'm sorry to miss it, chat a bit about, what you've been working on with Australia and Dubai and the various places you've been?
I actually didn't mention Dubai. So I was in Dubai as part of the global agenda of councils for the World Economic Forum. And I have been invited to be part of the Council on Oceans as a communicator. There's quite a few accomplished scientists and people involved in the ocean industries, actually, who are on the council. Notably, Tony Hammett of Scripps Institute is our chairman. Greg Stone of Conservation International is our vice chairman. And the role of the councils is really to create a report and choose different issues in our topics that we will then present to the World Economic Forum for consideration by the attendees, whether they're world leaders or institutions, corporations. Right now we're really focusing on traceability as our main topic. and looking at, simply put, from bait to plate, where your seafood and fish comes from, how do you trace it, all of the issues along the way, and then how do we know that we're actually getting what's said on the label. So I've learned an incredible amount of new information for me. What is interesting to see, and unfortunately not surprising, is that oceans is still really cornered into being an environmental-only topic. So what we're trying to do, and one of my goals sitting on a panel during this event in Dubai, was to really bridge that gap and say oceans is an economic topic, oceans is a political topic, oceans is a security topic, because we do cross all those borders. So I think we'll make headway, but it's a big engine to move forward.
Awesome. No, that's really fantastic, and you're hitting on a lot of great points. Going on to something earlier, that you were scouting for film possibilities in Australia, I wanted to go to Barbara. Can you talk a little bit about what you were doing in Tonga?
Yes. Well, right after we got back from the Blue Ocean Film Festival, we were home for one night, and then we took off for Tonga, and it's very special what you find there in the waters, because from like the end of July to the end of probably the beginning of November, you have the humpback whales come there to both breed, to mate, and to nurse their young. And it's we were really fortunate. We worked with Howard Hall doing all the underwater photography there with the Solido, the 3D IMAX camera, and got terrific footage of mother humpbacks with their babies, and they're just the babies are so inquisitive, and the mothers are so nurturing and caring, and it's wonderful, because we found this humpback whale guide who his grandfather actually had hunted the humpback, and in 1978 it was outlawed. It was banned in Tonga to hunt the humpback. And he's this young man. He has his own 18-month-old now, and he was brought to tears as he talked about the experience of seeing the nurturing of the mother humpbacks with their young, and how similar it is to the kind of bonding he feels with his own young son, and just not even being able to imagine killing these magnificent animals. So. We got terrific footage. We at one point Howard had 11 humpback whales in the camera frame.
Wow.
And we also heard the humpback whale song. It's to learn about that song is just incredible. The fact that you can there's specific rhythms, and you can actually predict the sequencing, the patterns, because they have specific rhythms, and they change a riff on it every year, and it's a cultural transmission from Western Australia all the way across the Pacific as it changes every year. And it's kind of like, it's such a terrific both intellectual journey, as well as this being in touch with nature, to be there and be able to do this filming. The Tonganese people are wonderful, and having the humpback there and protecting it is part of their ongoing cultural traditions. So it was a terrific experience.
Yeah, sounds like a very powerful and enriching experience. I hope you got some great footage, and I hope
got exceptional footage.
I hope to see that footage really soon. That sounds great.
I'm counting on you seeing it.
Mera, can you speak to a little bit to what Mission Blue has been up to since Blue?
Yeah, I think one of the more exciting things that Mission Blue has been doing is we recently partnered with the Cascade Game Foundry and put out a new app, or I guess it's available on mobile devices and on your computer. It's called Infinite Scuba, and it allows anyone of any age to dive in and experience the beauty and serenity of diving, and allows anyone to really become an ocean explorer and scientist, figuring out for themselves what really is beneath the waves.
Nice.
Beyond that, anyone who knows Sylvia knows that she is an Energizer bunny and doesn't stop. So she has been to China. Oh, did I lose you?
No, you're still here.
Oh, sorry. She she went to China for official business and was scouting out potential MPAs, which is very exciting. We always want to see increased protection of the world's ocean.
Mera, stop you real quick. Can you explain what an MPA is for those who might not know?
Yeah. An MPA is a marine protected area, MPA, and it's essentially a space in the ocean where human activities are more strictly regulated than the surrounding waters. So similar to like parks that we find on land, we have these marine protected areas in the ocean.
Awesome. And you're saying that Sylvia was in China speaking and looking towards new MPAs in that area?
Yeah, potential MPAs. She also recently was in Baja California on a trip experiencing the amazing diving there, and also shooting a movie for the upcoming Mission Blue movie, which should be released spring of this upcoming year.
Oh, that's fantastic. I'm really excited to see that. And, you know, one of the people who was fantastic to meet at Blue Ocean Film Festival was definitely Dr. Sylvia Earle, the, you know, Sturgeon General herself, just a fantastic person. And as you mentioned, full of energy. I wish I have half of her energy when I'm half her age.
I think that if I kept going with everything she's been doing and is continuing to doing, we would run out of time. But she certainly is an inspiration to all of us, and she's just getting back now from India, where she was at COP18 with the UN climate talks, which we're all following along and hoping good things come from.
Most definitely. Pam, I wanted to throw it over to you. Can you tell us a little bit about what the Plastic Pollution Coalition has been doing since Blue?
Sure. Well, the Plastic Pollution Coalition has a few projects going on. They've got the plastic-free campuses, and they're working with Central America and also the United Arab Emirates project in trying to reduce plastic. But the thing that we're really working on hard right now is a project, it's a contest called Think Beyond Plastic, and it's thinkbeyondplastic.com. And what it is, it's a contest for entrepreneurs and innovators all over the world to enter a contest to submit their ideas and innovations to help to substantially reduce plastics. So I think this is an area that is really been neglected. You know, there's contests for lots of sustainable innovation type of contests, but I don't think there's been one where they really focus on plastic. So we have a sponsor who has put in $50,000 as a grand prize. It's an investment, $50,000 first prize, and then there's also a $10,000 prize for best idea. And this contest has just started. The beginning of the month, we've started to take applications from around the world, and the contest will be in Berkeley. The main event will be in Berkeley on March 22nd at the David Brower Center, and we have a great jury put together. We have Adam Lowry from Method. We have Adam Warbach, who was the president of the Sierra Club and also has now started his company. I don't know if you heard of this company, Yurtle, which I've also been very active with. We have Professor Ramani Naruran, who is a professor of biochemistry and plastics. And so we have quite a distinguished jury. We have Julie Corbett from Ecologic, who does alternative packaging for companies like Seventh Generation. And so we're really excited about this contest and getting some new ideas and making this is our first event, and we'll probably have 2 contests a year and have different people sponsor it. So we're really excited about this, and we want to make a difference with see if we can find solutions for disposable plastics, and of course that affects marine debris in our oceans. I was brought on as to head outreach to find sponsors and entrepreneurs. I'm actually the co-founder of a company called Life Factory. We make glass bottles with silicone sleeves, and Daniela and Deanna brought me on board because I have a health background. I used to be a pediatric physical therapist and feeding specialist. So.
Oh, and we have apparently lost her. Well, Pam should be back relatively shortly, and when she is, we can have her talk a little bit more about that as well. Barbara, we seem to have had you.
I disappeared, and now I'm back.
For a short spell. Really, the next section of the conversation is one that's a little bit more near and dear to my heart. As has been mentioned, there's been a UN climate talk recently as part of the continuing UN climate talks. Wild Aid is, I believe, still throwing their marine protected area conference, where they're talking about various practices and ways to improve on the marine protected area policies and how to make those areas more enforceable, et cetera, and the question really arises: how do we, as part of the ocean community and as advocates of the ocean community, continue the conversations that happen at Blue, the conversations that are happening associated with that, and keep the ocean momentum alive and moving forward? I'm going to throw it to you, Celine, because you're awesome to hear.
Well, thank you. I think one of the important things, one, is to have these conversations that we're having now, because what's happened a lot from my sense is that we are all working in our niches and we're all working in our four corners of the world. I mean, Barbara's off in Tonga, I'm in Australia now, I'm off to the Amazon. Pam, you're where?
Just got back.
The Bay Area. So I'm here, I'm back. I don't know what happened there. Did I disappear?
So it's really important, I think, one of the key elements that we really, I think, justness of what success means is about us working in closer connection together. We can move mountains, we can move oceans, and I think we're going to keep doing that. And as a side comment, I want to just note that we're all women on this panel, which I think...
Let's just say I'm very lucky to be in this awesome group.
It is an awesome group, and you know, this is part of the force that we have, is that we have this incredible potential and power to really make change through so many different mediums. You know, Mission Blue, the Plastic Pollution Coalition, Barbara, all of your filmmaking work that you guys do, all of that is really part of the greater whole. What I'm noticing, and this goes back to what you asked me earlier about Dubai, is that also what needs to happen. I'm not used to talking economics and politics. But sitting down with people who don't understand that the oceans is completely connected to what happens in the rest of the world makes me realize that we need to cross those boundaries more and more. So it's a stretch, you know. I'm a storyteller and filmmaker, and now I'm having conversations about the economic value of the oceans. Well, there's a story in that too.
Most definitely. Mera, what's your opinion on that?
I second what Celine is saying. I think personally, finding the value in aligning economic advantage and environmental performance with sustainable development is key. And within terrestrial and marine systems, it's important. I think also one of the beautiful things that I find exciting about Mission Blue is its partners. Without our partners, Mission Blue would be nothing. And creating this unified voice for the ocean and celebrating what Sylvia has so eloquently said, you know, using all means necessary, and all means that we have, whether you're creative and you're an amazing writer, or you're an amazing storyteller through film or through multimedia. That's amazing, and use that to your power. That Wild Aid, that all the folks are meeting in San Francisco right now and are being introduced to new advances in science and maritime surveillance and mapping technologies. That's exciting, and I think Sylvia would say, you know, the time is now. Not to put words in her mouth, but I think she would say that, and I think it's true. The time is now. We all recognize areas that we can work together, and people are excited and continuing these conversations, and I think that's key, to continue these conversations, continue moving forward and working together.
That seems to be a great consensus. We should definitely be continuing conversations, but conversations can only get you so far. I would love to hear from Pam on this. Really, the contest that you guys seem to be running seems to bring not only attention to the issue of plastics and how they affect our world and our oceans, but also gives people a new, interesting way to give their own perspective into it. Can you speak a little bit to that?
Yeah, sure. We're just starting to get some applications, and it's just amazing about with all the different areas that can address. I mean, there's there's technology, there's consumer goods, there's packaging. There's so many different areas that can be addressed through plastic pollution, and to make it a international contest, you get everybody's kind of point of view of what is important and how they can contribute to this cause. So I think it's going to be, as we get more applications, we're going to see more and more what people are thinking about. But certainly there's lots of different ideas that we hadn't even thought of. So we're really excited about it.
Well, we're definitely excited on this end to see what comes about from it.
Yeah.
Barbara, your organization works a lot with various communities, not just in the film industry, but I know that you've worked with kids as well. Can you speak a little bit to that, about continuing the ocean conversation, the ocean momentum?
Yeah, well, our whole campaign is meant to be embracive and inclusive of all the organizations that are out there working on the ocean. And there are several ventures that we've done specifically targeting kids, and one is working with an organization called My Hero, where kids write in stories and do little videos about their ocean heroes. And actually, we've just set up a special Sylvia Earle Ocean Hero Award for the kid that comes up with the best video. With a video of their ocean hero that would be, modeling after Sylvia. But there's so many different ways to involve kids, and we're still working with that. It's very interesting that this next we've been scouting, for another film project out in the eastern part of Indonesia. In the Raja Ampat area, and there's a whole wonderful program there. It's called the Calabia, and they go out. It's a confiscated fishing vessel that goes out, and it was originally created by CI, but they go out and they go to different villages and teach the kids about ocean conservation. And there've been some wonderful stories that have come out of that, of the kids taking on the ocean conservation message and saving sea turtles or stopping boats from throwing out trash. But it's our hope that when we put out stories like that, compelling stories about what individuals have done with that, or creating MPAs and the village monitoring the MPA and going from fishing to ecotourism, that by showing these stories, these compelling stories in the large IMAX format, that we can empower other people to do the same and promote that kind of conservation.
Yeah, most definitely. It sounds like the real solution that we're coming to in this discussion is to bring awareness, continue working across the various organizational boards and organizations coming together to try and push the ocean agenda and trying to fight for ocean issues. We are now at the half-hour mark for this Hangout, and really it sounds like this has been a really great conversation. I want to, first of all, thank everybody for viewing, and I want to thank everybody for attending, and I'm going to give everybody a chance to just wrap up with their final thoughts. Celine, would you like to start us off?
Sure. Well, first, I think half an hour is too short. I'm just now trying to type Barbara a quick message about Calabia. And Calabia has come across my desk a couple of times, and I was actually part of giving an award to help fund their project. So,
oh, terrific!
Yeah, and they do such an amazing work. I think it just comes back to, and this is bringing to the final point, I guess, that earlier I was saying we all need to come together and collaborate and work together. The reality is we're all working on different projects. And I think it's very heartening to hear about all the different projects that are happening, because you realize even if you're sitting in front of your computer working on your own, there's an army of people out there who are actually working alongside with you, and it's great to hear all these stories. So thank you.
Fantastic. Mera, what about you?
Just thanks for having me on this short discussion, and good to hear what everyone is up to. Mission Blue, I know, is looking forward to the Blue Ocean Film Festival next year, and to staying in touch with all of our partners and everyone that we met there.
Oh, that's fantastic. Pam, what about your end?
And thank you for having me and being able to talk on the behalf of the Plastic Pollution Coalition. We're really excited about being able to work together. Again, I think, as everyone feels, we all, I think, are working towards that same goal. All of us are kind of specialists in our area, coming from a different angle, and I think everyone is very valuable. And to speak to Barbara, it's so important, I think, too, is to address the youth and the kids, because they're the next generation and they're the ones who are going to make the big difference. And I think that is a really, really important part of the education and the message that we want to bring out. And a lot of it is education and awareness, and we hope that all of us can deliver it in our own way to organizations and as a whole. And I'm really excited to work together with Think Beyond Plastic and the Plastic Pollution Coalition. I'm new to the coalition, but I'm really excited about the good work they do, and looking forward to meeting and working with all of you as well. Thank you.
Barbara.
Yeah, this is great fun, because it feels like a continuation of the Blue Ocean, Film Festival, and that community and the collaboration and the discussions. But I did, with Debbie Kinder up there, I said, Debbie, this is so great. You got to do this again next year. She goes, are you kidding? I mean, the work that goes into that is so absolutely incredible. That I totally understood that she could only do it every 2 years, unless you're telling me differently that they're doing it every year now.
Every 2 years is.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Sorry.
It's all right.
No, I was excited.
and that's really the thing, is that you have all these really great conversations, these great panel discussions, these great events, these great ideas that get generated, and it's kind of unfortunate that this festival couldn't be longer. And can't happen more frequently. And coming from the staff side on this, not only is that opinion that's shared, but it's also completely disagreed with as well at the same time, because there's just so hard and so much work and so much effort to put together events like this that, yeah, you want to have more, but you also want to be able to sleep. Sorry to kind of interrupt.
Survive.
But yeah, sorry to kind of break away from that. But you were mentioning talking to Debbie about this, Barbara.
Yes.
Yeah. So was there anything else that you wanted to mention?
No, we're 5 minutes over.
Oh well, yes. Well, again, I would love to have more conversations with these awesome ladies. I would love to have the people who are viewing at home to join us for our future conversations, where we will be continuing the Blue conversation itself to discuss about ocean issues, how we can do our part, and how we can work together towards the common goals of ocean protection and ocean awareness. So thanks again for coming and joining us in this hangout. And
thank you.
Thank you. Hope to see you guys again soon.
All right. Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.